Hi everybody, it's Nikki here, and today we're going to have a bit of a chat about makeup and project panning. This is a project pan tag created by Ruth Foley. I will leave her channel linked for you in the description box below. Please do check it out. She's hilarious, she is funny, and she is my sister from another mister, because I reckon we would be really good friends if we just lived a little bit closer to each other. I say that about a few of my friends on YouTube, people that I watch, people that I've kind of built a camaraderie with. Anyway, she does acknowledge that somebody else in the community has created a project panners tag, and she has links to that person's video in her project panners tag video. So I will link her video for you in the description box below, so you can check out her links to the originator of a project panners tag. But I believe that this tag has different questions, so it is a new tag, but she's aware that somebody else has done a project panners tag in the past. So yeah, so the first 10 questions Ruth has come up with herself, and then question 11 has been put forward by Deb B, and then question 12 has been put forward by Dannie. So I believe those two ladies are also linked in Ruth Foley's video, because I'm not quite sure who they are. I think Dannie is someone I do watch, but I can't remember her channel name. But yeah, I'm not, I struggle to infiltrate large groups of people, so I will speak to the odd one or two, but in a large group like the Fantastic Ladies, I don't insert myself into the group very much. I'm sort of like sitting on the outside, sort of every now and again dipping in, and that has something to do with my confidence levels, my self-esteem issues, and yeah, so I just kind of dip in and out of the Fantastic Ladies. I don't kind of infiltrate and become, you know, one of the girls. I've never been that sort of person, but I do watch a lot of project panners who are Fantastic Ladies, and I do help support their channels and like their videos and try and do what I can quietly. So yeah, there's only one or two that I will actually comment on, but I do watch a lot of their videos. Anyway, let's get to the questions, shall we? So the first question is easiest category to pan. Now I think for me, to finish a product, it's got to be lip gloss. I think I've finished a couple of lip glosses already this year, and I'm shocked at how fast I've finished them. But actually, easiest products to put into a project pan to work on, I would say, is eyeshadow, because with eyeshadows I can work on multiple eyeshadows at a time, because I never just do a one and done kind of look with my eyeshadow. I'm always using multiple eyeshadows on my eyes, so I can put multiple eyeshadows into project pans, and therefore they're easiest to pan because I'm constantly rotating through those eyeshadows and using them. I'm not using them up, but I am using them. So it depends how I kind of approach this question. Easiest to put into a project pan, eyeshadows, but easiest to pan and finish, lip gloss. Second question is the opposite, the hardest category to pan. And again, I'll approach this both ways. The hardest category to finish is probably highlighters for me. I don't think, I'm trying to think if I've ever finished a highlighter, not counting liquid highlighters, which I can use very easily, but powder highlighters, they're so difficult for me to use up. I don't think I've finished a single one. I've hit pan on a couple, but I don't think I've finished a single highlighter in the 6 years that I've been project panning. So I would say highlighter is the hardest category for me to pan. But the hardest category for me to put into a project pan is like foundations, because on primers and concealers. And that is because I stick to one foundation, one primer, one concealer for months and months until I finish it. Those are the kinds of products that I just use the same one all the time, and I don't rotate through my foundations or my concealers or my primers. I tend to pick one and use it till it's finished, and then pick the next one and use that till it's finished. So I can't put multiple foundations into project pans because I won't pick it. I won't use them because I tend to stick to one and use that. So yeah, if we're going for putting into project pan and finishing it, it's highlighters. But if it's putting into project pans to use, it's got to be foundations, concealer and primer, because I can't have multiple of those in any of my project pans. And as I'm doing multiple project pans at a time, it kind of limits what other things I can put into a project pan, because I can only have one foundation, one concealer and one primer in any of my project pans. So yeah, that's that. Number 3 is a product that you flew through, and I've got to say it's my MAC lip gloss. I flew through that in I think 3 months. No, it was the I Heart Revolution Marie lip gloss. That was the one that took me about 2 months to finish. I was like, oh my god, how quick was that? I was shocked. Up until maybe last year, I was not a lip gloss kind of girl. I was not a fan of lip glosses because I thought about them catching in my hair. But as my hair is normally tied up, I kind of figured I might as well use lip glosses. So yeah, lip gloss. I flew through the I Heart Revolution Marie lip gloss from the Aristocats collection in 2 months. I was shocked. So that's that one. Number 4, a product that you lost the will, it took so long to pan. I know exactly the product. It's this. This is the number 7 Stay Perfect Shade and Define eyeshadow stick in Gunmetal Grey. I've been panning this for years. I only have that much left. It's in my This Is Fantasy project pan, and until recently I hadn't even started using it. I love the shade of this. It's stunning. It's beautiful. I'll give you a swatch of it. It's absolutely gorgeous, and once you put it on your eye, it does not budge, it does not move, and yet, like, I struggle to use it, but when I do use it, I love it. And I keep putting it into project pans and I keep putting it into project pans and I still can't seem to finish it. I am losing the will to survive on this one. It just needs to be used up, finished and gone. I think this is at least 4 years old now, and it just needs to get done. I'm so done with it. The next question, is a product you wouldn't let beat you, and that has got to be Colourpop Super Shock eyeshadow in Issa. If you know, this is a very sentimental eyeshadow for me. It is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I only have half of this left, but I do have a full backup in my collection thanks to a lovely subscriber. But this dried out on me. There's the colour there. It dried out on me and I got very upset, and I didn't know what to do, and I knew that Duraline from Inglot would revive it, but I didn't know how to get hold of the Duraline from Inglot. because I don't shop on websites that really, I think, is it Cult Beauty or Feel Unique had it? And I was like, oh, but I don't want to just put in a order for just one item. And then I was in town one day in Boots and I saw the inglot stand. I've never seen it before there, so it must be new to Boots. Rushed over, there was some jewelry line. I managed to pick some up, didn't even look at the price, just took it to the till, paid for it, and it has helped to revive this, and I'm so much happier now. Yes, I've got a brand new one as a backup, but I don't want to throw half of this away because it is sentimental. So yeah, I will not be beat by this. I used half of it in the Pan That palette theme for 2020, I think it was, when it was panning solitaire, where you had to pan a single, a duo, a trio and a quad, and this was my single for the year, so I used up half of it in that year, and it's stunning, it's beautiful, but it is drying up now. I can feel it. Even when I swatched it then, it was starting to dry up again. So a couple more drops of Inglot jawline and it will be revived again. I will not let that beat me, and I will finish it at some point eventually. Number 6, the easiest eyeshadow formula to pan for mattes and shimmers. Now, I don't have a large range of brands in my collection. The majority of my collection is Revolution and Sleek, and then the odd palette here and there from other brands. So I've got to say that for matte eyeshadows, the easiest to pan is actually Sleek, because Sleek matte eyeshadows are really powdery, and most of the pans I have in my eyeshadow collection are in Sleek palettes. I have one matte eyeshadow palette from Sleek that has about 4 or 5 pans in it alone, so they are really easy to hit pan on in a matte shade. For shimmers, I would say it's probably Revolution shimmers. They are a little bit easier to hit pan on, but yeah, I find that Revolution and Sleek are really easy to hit pan on anyway, because those are the palettes that I'm using more often. I tend to keep the other palettes from higher brands for rare occasions, so I very rarely use them. So for number 7, the hardest eyeshadow formula to pan or matte, to pan for mattes and shimmers, I would say any of my higher brand eyeshadow palettes. That would include my Tarte Be a Mermaid palette, my Urban Decay Naked palettes, and my Too Faced palette. I have the Best Year Ever for 2018, which was like their Christmas collection in 2017. Yeah, those palettes are really hard to pan, especially the Urban Decay ones. I use them a lot when I go away on holiday, and I've yet to make a dent in any of the shades. And I use them quite regularly when I'm away on holiday. So yeah, they are harder to pan because I use them less, but also as well as when I do use them, they don't seem to kick up a lot of powder like the Revolution ones, like the Sleek ones, so I do find them a lot harder to pan. Number 8, best alternate use to pan a product faster. The only products I use alternatively to how they're meant to be used is liquid highlighters, and I tend to use them mixed in with my foundation and also with my body lotions. So I will use them to make my foundation a bit more glowy, and I will use them with my moisturizers all over my body during the summer so that I have a bit more of a glowy skin look. I had one liquid highlighter that was quite a darker colour, and there was absolutely no way I could use it at all as a facial highlighter, and when I added it to my foundation, it turned my foundation too dark. So what I did was, during the summer, I mixed it in with my moisturiser, and it made it look like I had a bit of a tan, but I didn't. It was just a very dark liquid highlighter that was just not my skin tone, and so it looked like I had a bit of a shiny, glowy tan. So that's the only product that I alternatively use to what it's meant to be used as. So there's that one. Number 9, the best project panning tip or trick to use up a product. I think for me, the best tip or trick I could tell you is that for most project panners, we can't do just one project pan. We are addicted and we have to do multiple project pans. But the best thing that I have discovered doing is that if I put a lipstick into one project pan, then I will put a lip liner that complements that lipstick into a different project pan. Because a lot of the times we can get really focused on one project and the products that are in that project, that the other projects kind of get left by the wayside. And when we come to do the update for them, it's like there's no progress because I've been focusing on this other project. So what I do is I make sure that products from one project will complement the products that I've put in a different project. So the lipstick in one and the lip liner to go with it in another. The second tip I would say is in my everyday makeup drawer, which I have separate to my main makeup drawers, I put all, in my everyday makeup drawer, I put all my project pan items, and I put them in, not in order of project pans, but in order of the type of item that they are. So I put all my lip products together, I put all my face products together, I put all my eyeshadow products together. And what this does is when I'm coming up to pick products for a new project pan, or for products that are rolling into a project pan, I can look at my everyday makeup drawer and say, right, I have enough eyeshadows already in project pans that I don't need to put eyeshadows into the new project pan. Or I can see my lip products, I've only got maybe 2 lip products currently in project pans in my everyday makeup drawer, so maybe I can add a lip product into the new project. So by organising my makeup drawer by their products rather than their project, I can see which category I can fit extra products into when I'm picking new products to go into project pans. So that's helped me a lot to not be too overloaded with one particular type of product for project pans, because I know that sometimes we just keep throwing in more eyeshadows, and then we suddenly realise, hang on a minute, I'm trying to work on 10 different eyeshadow palettes between all my project pans, and I can't do it. I can't physically wear that many eyeshadows in 1 month. So that's how I work it. I put it all into one drawer, all my project pan items, I put them into one drawer, and I arrange them by their product type rather than by their project, and that way I can see which areas I can fit new products into in new project pans. Hope that makes sense. Hope that helps you out. So number 10 is what project panning has taught you. Well, obviously it's taught me how long makeup lasts and how long it takes to use up my makeup. But what it's actually really taught me is how to be better at applying my makeup. When I first started wearing makeup back in 2016, previous to that, the only times I wore makeup was Christmas, maybe New Year, and my birthday. That was it. And maybe a night out if I was going somewhere, if I was invited out somewhere. I very rarely wore makeup at all. It just was not something that I grew up with. It's not something that was part of my lifestyle. I was very much a tomboy when I was younger. So I wasn't into makeup and hair and stuff like that, like most young girls are. So I only really got into wearing makeup when I was getting married. I realised that if I wanted to do my makeup for my wedding day, I was going to have to learn how to do it. And that awoke this interest and this love of makeup inside me. So I've only really been wearing makeup more regularly since 2016 when I got married. So my makeup skills back in 2016 were not that great, let's be honest. So through project panning and having to wear makeup much more regularly, trying to use my makeup so that I had some progress to show during my updates, I learned to use my makeup better. I learned how to apply it better. I learned how to blend my eyeshadows better. I've learned how to use my makeup in ways that I didn't think about previously. So it's actually helped me to improve my makeup skills because I've had to wear it more often. So yeah, that's what project panning has taught me, how to actually look good when I apply my makeup. Because let's face it, when I was first doing it in 2016, I looked a little bit like a drag queen. In fact, no, that's offensive to drag queens. Drag queens were better at makeup than I was. So yeah. So number 11, as I say, was courtesy of Deb B. And the question she put forward was, product you're proudest of panning. It's got to be blushes. When I finish a blush, or when I see somebody else finish a blush, I think, you queen, you absolute queen of project panning. I don't understand how there are some people in the project panning community who can go through blushes like every 6 months. How are you doing that? How did you finish a whole blush palette in a year? I don't understand. What are you doing? Eating it? I know they're not. They're probably wearing makeup every day. And so if you wear makeup every day and you're using the same blush every day, that's 365 uses in a year. You're going to finish a blush palette. I do not wear makeup every day. 2 to 3 times a week is my max. So of course it's going to take me longer to use a blush. But my goodness, when I see someone finish a blush, when I finish a blush, I feel like I've won the project panning trophy. I do. I don't care what else happens in project pans. I could fail all the rest of my products, but if I've finished a blush, and I finished one this year, so I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm pretty good. I feel like I've won. So yeah, blush. And number 12, courtesy of Dannie. The question is my favourite projects to watch. Obviously anything created by the Pantastic Ladies, because they are well named. They are fantastic. But I really like watching the themed project pans. So when a project pan is based on a theme, so like This Is Fantasy, like the Welcome to Hellmouth, which is based on Buffy, like the Zodiac project pan, like what's the other one that I'm doing? Let me have a look. The Panna's Bingo. Those ones where it's really, and Deck of Panning, I love that one. It's where it's got a theme rather than just, hey, pick 10 products and pan them. I find them so boring. There's nothing, like you put anything in those, but when there's a prompt and you have to pick a product for that prompt, people think outside of the box and people come up with all sorts of different reasons why it fits the prompt. And I love those project pans because they really grab hold of my imagination, and you really have to think about fulfilling that prompt with a product, and it gives you more brain power basically. And I just love those types of project pans. I also really like the type of project pans like Pan That Palette, because you're focused in on one single object, and I love seeing you know, the palette go from almost brand new at the beginning of the year to battered and bruised and looking really raggedy by the end of the year. And I also love, like, in December when everyone's doing their final video for Pan That Palette for the year, I like to go back and watch the first video from January for that person, especially if they've really gone at it and they've practically like used up most of the eyeshadows. I like to go back to their January video and see how that palette started and compare it to how it's finished at the end of the year. I love seeing that comparison. I love seeing how a palette can go from practically brand new to practically finished in a year. I find that so fascinating, and I love seeing those updated photos from how it started to how it's finished. So yeah, those are the projects that I love to watch. The Pan That palettes and the themed project pans like Deck of Panning, This Is Fantasy, Zodiac Panners, those kinds of things, because Panner's Bingo, I love Panner's Bingo. I wait eagerly every month for Kana to do her number calling video, and I'm there with my little thing. Oh, I love it. So yeah, those are the project pans that I love to watch, but also to take part in as well. So that is the Project Panners tag and all my answers to all the questions. I hope you enjoyed what I've been saying. I hope maybe that I've given you some tips and tricks to help you with your project panning. And if you're not into project panning but you're thinking, how long have I had my makeup sat in my drawers, maybe it might be time to start focusing in on one or two products and maybe trying to pan them. Yeah, we should all be trying to use up our makeup instead of constantly going out and buying whatever's new, because at the end of the day, it's just going to sit there in your drawers, wasting space, and eventually end up in landfill, and nobody wants that. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you to Ruth Foley for creating this Project Panners tag, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!